In this post, we are heading to the website to celebrate my 5th year with Must Contain Minis. This is going to be a bit of a retrospective. During the last 5 years, I wrote 891 posts about various miniatures games, created 39 videos, and hit 500 subscribers on this YouTube channel. My name is Jay, and you're watching Must Contain Minis. I do reviews and showcases of miniatures and miniature-related products. My goal is to introduce you to products outside of those that are made by the biggest company on the market. Here is my first post, which was an introduction to the website. Back then, I focused a lot on a company called RAFM and also on the game Bolt Action. RAFM, or Rank and File Miniatures, are actually the company that brought me back into miniature wargaming after a long hiatus. It is this starter set here, after playing a game at a convention, that actually showed me that there are other companies on the market that you can buy into rather than just the biggest that you can find at your friendly local gaming store. Right off the top, my website was about 3 things: reviews, showcases, and battle reports. Since then, I added in news and previews as well. One of the things that helped me out early on the website is actually the construction of a homemade light box. Look at the difference here. So on the left, you can see a picture of a miniature that I took before using the light box. There's a lot of harshness on the colors and the shadows. And then on the right, you can see how the miniature looked when I put it inside of a homemade light box and took a few pictures. Now, heading to a different article, we're going to look at my first post that gained major traction on its own. In it, I reviewed foreground houses, Plasticraft game houses, a birdhouse that was converted into a home for miniatures, and a scratch-built house that I built on my own. This one received a lot of visits, which is good because I took a lot of pictures for it. Check it out. Back when I started, Facebook could drive a ton of traffic to your website. Each post could easily get hundreds to thousands of views if you posted a link to the relevant groups on Facebook. Those days are long gone, and now most of my traffic comes from Google. I still engage in social media though, but if anyone were to ask me these days for advice to start up a YouTube channel or website, my advice would be to focus on your content and not worry so much about the social media. Most of those sites want to keep people on their platforms, and they don't help influencers who lead people away from their sites anymore. It's a business, so I understand. Back to the site, and some of the games that I like to focus the most on include Frostgrave and Bolt Action. You can find a lot of articles about both games on my website. Check out the story about my first games of Frostgrave. That was the day I first met Ash Barker of Guerrilla Miniature Games. If you check out my Frostgrave playlist, link in the top right corner, you can actually watch 3 videos where I appeared on his channel for a mini campaign. Frostgrave and Bolt Action proved very popular, but I always keep my eye on the market and I always want to bring attention to options out there that you might not otherwise know about. Why? Because when I started with this hobby, I knew of only one company. It was what my local gaming store sold. Later, I learned about 3 more miniature games, bringing my total of known games up to 4. All of those games were by larger players in the industry. When I realized that there was so much more out there, I wanted to share. Why didn't I know about these small companies? I would probably make more money if I focused on just Games Workshop like many of the other websites and channels out there do, but that is not what Must Contain Minis is about. Must Contain Minis is about opening people's minds to the other options on the market. I have to say that through my website and YouTube channel, I've been able to meet a lot of great friends. There are so many interesting people out there who want to showcase their work and get news out of their products. If you look at the website, you'll find a list of companies that I worked with in the past. Admittedly, I have to update this list a little bit, but check out these companies. You have Cigar Box Battle. These guys make amazing battle mats. You also have Crucible Crush. This is a company that's local to me, and I see them at all of the conventions that I go to. We have Fireforge Games, who are actually on Kickstarter right now, working on a new product. I'll put a link in the description below so you can go and visit that. We have Firelock Games, who make amazing products for Blood and Plunder and have been big supporters of Must Contain Minis. There's Forbes Hobbies, which happens to be my favorite friendly local gaming store. We have Hobby Zone, who make the desktop organization system that I use. Osprey Games has been a huge supporter of Must Contain Minis from the start. They're actually the first company that sent me products to review, and they've been a supporter of this website ever since. We have Six Squared Studios, which is another company local to me. Wargames Atlantic, who make really quality miniatures at the best prices out there. And there are other companies I have to add to this as well, such as Wayland Games for their gaming company, Warcradle Studios. Warcradle Studios makes Wild West Exodus, and they also make Dystopian Wars. I think we can expect to see a lot from them coming up. On top of that, there are so many great painters that have helped me out with Must Contain Minis. We have Drew, who does the best detail work that I know of. It's simply stunning. Take a look at that. He is available for commission work, and he also works as a carpenter if you have any woodwork that you want done. Next up, we have Brendan Brown. He does a lot of Flames of War work, and he loves his historicals, but he also does GW as well. And then we have Dave. He is a master at batch painting, and he can paint up miniatures very quickly, and is the type of guy that you want working on your miniatures if you're either doing a boxed board game or an army that you want on the table quickly. We then have Jeremy Cata, who is the owner of Forbes Hobbies, and he also does awesome detail work. Generally, he likes to work on the larger models, and he also has access to a network of commissioned painters as well. Finally, you have miniatures painted by myself, and I will admit that between painting and building, I actually prefer building miniatures and cleaning them up rather than painting, but I do all of it. Across the top of Must Contain Minis, you have links to my resource pages. We have the Canadian Miniatures Gaming Companies page, the Ontario Miniature Gaming Conventions page, and my highlighted companies page that I already showed you. Now we're going to head to the Canadian Miniatures Gaming Companies page. Here, I have a list of all of the companies that I know of that have a website that you can purchase from, who also manufacture their own miniature products and are based in Canada. So we have Crucible Crush, Cardboard Dungeon Games, RAFM, DreamPod 9, who are coming up with a third edition to their Heavy Gear game, and I also believe they're coming up with a new plastic starter set, so that could be interesting coming from them. We have Raybox Games, Uncle Mike's Worldwide, Oakham Arts. Now, Oakham Arts has been on the scene for 10 years, and if you head to this page here and you go to the Oakham Arts collection on Drive-Thru RPG, you'll actually access their sale if you act quickly. They're currently having a sale to celebrate 10-year anniversary. We also have Pulp Figures. Bob makes some really fantastic miniatures. Full Battle Rattle Miniatures if you're looking for Canadian soldiers. Die Wolfenkammer, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but they are JFTM Enterprises. Westphalia Miniatures, who make really nice resin minis. A bunch of companies I haven't tried yet. We have Relic Miniatures, Legion for Hire, Harwood Hobbies, Kingsford Miniatures, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. We have a bunch of terrain companies. We have Zolk, 6 Squared Studios, Iron Principle Terrain, Northern Lights Terrain and Gaming Supplies, Infinite Dimension Games, M3 Studios, TabletopGamerStore.com, and we also have a section that's recently started for tools and accessories, and you'll find Light Industries there. That gives you a lot of talent within Canada that you can access through Must Contain Minis. I also host the Ontario Miniatures Gaming Convention page. This is a local resource listing all of the miniature gaming conventions going on in Ontario that I know about. Right now it is on hiatus due to the pandemic, but whenever we have our second shot of vaccine in and the lockdowns end, I will update the site again. Underneath the upcoming events, I have a listing of all of the convention reports that I wrote about each event in the past. Back to my celebration posts. I wrote this last week, so when I wrote this article, I had written 891 articles. Right now that number's up even more because I wrote this post last week and I've published 3 articles since. But of those 891 posts, 141 of them are with Belle of Lost Souls. I have an authors page over there too, and that will be linked in the description below. 750 of those articles are actually on Must Contain Minis. Now, a big thank you goes out to all of you on YouTube for helping me reach my first 500 subscribers, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to produce content for you in the future. Until next time, happy gaming everyone!